What is up? Workbringer here, and today I'm bringing you my Sanguine Depths plus 13 run. That didn't go perfectly. That's the route I had just designed. I had just done a Spires of Ascension 12, I believe, with this group. And our Elemental Shaman left, and we picked up a Rogue, which is great because that's very helpful for this route for me. The plan with this is generally to skip the room at the end, which everyone can do. Doesn't require anything fancy, just good timing for it to not take too long. And that is going to give us pride on the first boss. I then do one rogue skip or invis skip, and that will give us pride on the second boss. And then the tricky part is that you actually have to go pick up quite a bit of trash after the second boss to get pride on the third boss. And I've never done that route before. I was coming off of, I guess it was Tyrannical. But anyway, the route that I did before this, that I normally do, doesn't get pride on the third boss. However, this group was saying that that would be a good idea, or we thought it would be. I don't think that they care like that much. So I went for it. So I went and, while we were getting the group together, I was making a new route and checking it out. And so this is my first time trying to do the route where I get pride on all the bosses. Doesn't go perfectly, however, again, this is just a 13 and everyone's pretty geared for it. So, you know, it still goes fine, but I just wanted to show what a kind of botched route looks like. But a 13, still very survivable. You can still do it. It's just not going to have pride on the third boss, so we just take a lot of damage and it just takes a little longer. There's also another misplay that I didn't know. I wasn't sure how to think about it. So the things at play for a tank, and this always happens, especially on it just always happens. Like, because I start cutting back and people are not expecting it, but there's traps going down, and there's the thrusts, and there's Sanguine. So like all of those things equal kiting backwards, and it's kind of similar. So look, like they're all sitting in the Sanguine right now. There's only one way to handle that. Doesn't matter. You got to just kite the whole thing backwards, and then people eat a thrust, and then the rogue steps in a trap. It's like, I've done this a million times. I've seen that. But there's a couple things at play with, you could say pumpers, but really it's DPS that are geared or slightly above the dungeon, like their damage level. And so if you're below gear for the dungeon and you're pushing, right? You kind of start to rely on CC, right? Like you want to take one of the mobs out and then handle the pack that you can handle and take it a little bit slower just so you don't wipe. However, if you have the pumpers, the expectation for you as tank is to actually start to possibly double pull in certain situations so that you're getting the most benefit from their cooldowns. If they're going to combust, you want to pull 2 packs and get the value from that speed-wise. So this group does extremely well, and I'll talk about when I get there. I do decide to actually not pull the whole thing, and it's not a double pull, but like you can half pull a pack that's pretty nasty after the third boss. And I kind of hesitate, and I don't LOS it all the way back, and it's a little awkward. I would say that's the major issue with this run, other than the fact that I actually skipped a pack, essentially. It didn't get pride for the third, but this is me on the road to getting towards, I'll push a 14 next, right? And then on the 14, it'll be even more crucial to get this right. However, this run is still quite fine, and 13s are still pretty forgivable as long as you don't make any like real big misplays. Like I'm pretty sure I think it was Sanguine Depths 11 run, I was essentially doing this run and I did it completely wrong. But I think that's part of the learning. That's part of the lesson, is to do it completely wrong and just get better, right? If you did everything right the first time, what's there to learn? And that seems very unlikely for tanks to do everything right the first time. There's a lot going on. Comps are different. Healers are different. Mobs are the same usually. But I do feel like I get this place a little bit better. One of the next ones I need to push is Theater of Pain. I'm not really enjoying Theater of Pain on Sanguine Quaking because of the platform part. I just don't like it. I probably could push it, this week. We'll see if I do or not. But Sanguine's not bad at all. I have this place pretty memorized. I think a lot of people do. You know, disregarding like the mistakes that I tell you I'm going to make here. That's because it's a new route. But I mean, generally how you do the bosses and, you know, the gauntlets, like that stuff, I know how to do that for the most part. The affixes do affect this quite a bit though. So because we did our little skip there, we get pride very predictably on this first pack. I'm sorry, on this first boss on the pack right before it. And not much to say about it. The Resto Druid is able to heal us. I don't know if they're doing cooldowns right now. I can't sense that. But we're not all at 10% health, which feels good. Because like the last tick of pride, depending on the stat count, it hurts a lot. It's a lot of damage that goes out. So it's a bit of an awkward pull back to the center. Probably should have ardenced for that. But, you know, should we not zero phase this boss, we want to be here, right? And I'm assuming all the ranged... Oh, no, they're not doing it yet. So they're pretty stacked for that phase. That makes sense. But should he do a Severing Smash, the range should get really far away so that the ball, the blue orbs can be delayed as much as possible. And then I will go all the way to the right. Here's Severing Smash. Boss is almost dead, though. Quite good. I'll go back here, pop mine. But did they pop them all? Oh, they popped them all. No, there's still one coming for us. I'm pretty sure we kill him before that ball gets here. And that's ideal on a fortified week, right? So that's a one phase for the boss. Pretty good. Gonna run in here. And this is technically a double pull, but it should basically... Well, it should basically always be done, but you'll see how much damage Fortified 13 puts out if we're not, like, cap toteming. Like, we don't have our... I mean, we have that. I'm trying to get in there. That's gonna lose us a couple kicks because we had to spread, and these casts do a lot of damage, so... But I don't think I've ever... It's pretty rare for me to pull just the other two. I don't think anyone's going to be happy about that. Even with this being somewhat of a, you know... Look at our Warlock. I think I lay on hand. I think that was lay on hands. I don't know. I'm just trying to heal as I can because, you know, my top damage... I was going to say my damage isn't that good, but I'm top damage. But, you know, just do the heals as I can. I guess what I'm saying is, like, I'm not dying too hard compared to everyone else, so I should just do as much healing as possible. I also have talented Hand of the Protector so that I can be the Hand of the Protector and off heal as much as possible. So using that quite a bit there. Highest DPS, again, everyone burned all their cooldowns on the boss, but you know, it's nice to contribute, you know, decent DPS, like kind of like a floppy pack like that, like not a highly dangerous one, and then also heal. I definitely could have died there. If I had eaten that Craggy Fracture, I think I would have been dead. Rogue interrupts that. Very nice. I still have mine. Craggy Fracture. I'm surprised they didn't one-shot the mage on a fortified. But it didn't. So, healing myself up here. And gonna stand in Sanguine for too long. Yeah, there we go. Big heals for myself though, right? It's nice. So, focus the Grand Overseer here. Not much to say about this part here. I did learn from the comments of my last Sanguine video is that if he does do the chains of oppression or whatever it's called that's going to go out, that I can Hand of Freedom it. I can Hand of Freedom it and just keep doing DPS. Dread Bindings, there it is. It doesn't stay long enough for me to do anything. I get quite flustered and run into a wall from Sanguine. I should have been preempting it, but I was actually wanting to test the Dread Bindings. I haven't done a Sanguine Depths run, I don't think, since that video, so wanted to test it. I do believe I get to test it here. So we are going to take this pack. I think it would be fairly hard to skip this pack with a Shroud, so I build it in. There's other places to get count here, but I think this is a good place. We're going to pull it back just a little bit, which is kind of the name of the game in Sanguine Depths, is to step it back just a little bit because there's patrols is essentially the issue. So we have stepped it back here, and I do believe Dread Bindings is going to go off, so I do get to test it. Oh boy. There it is, Dread Bindings and Hand of Freedom, and I take no damage. Very nice. Didn't look like it was doing crazy damage to anyone else either, but It's nice to be able to not have to like run away, right? I'm pretty sure every other tank needs to run in that case on these higher keys plus fortified. That it does decent damage. Like you want to not face tank it if you can. So don't stand in the grapefruit juice on the ground, and we are going to shroud here. You can also Invis Pot. You'll see that on my bottom middle bar I have an Invis potion because more and more of what I do requires it, right? And so the last time I did this, I was the one that pulled the outside group, and then it was a chaos, and I lost aggro there. In this one, someone dies, and floppy pull, and I let people die. But I divine shield it, and I get it back. We do have a battle res that's going to be incoming. I'm taking a surprising amount of damage. And I'm like, who is giving me the biz right now? Oh, and it's the big one. One of them enrages, and so I mark it, and I have to type soothe. Like that's like my generic CC macro that says like it's like sheep ice trap. It just says like whoever like do something to it, and I just type soothe, and he instantly dies. Yeah, so I was taking big damage from that guy. He should be instantly one shot if there's a druid or a hunter in the group. I think I'm gonna eat that frontal now. Okay. But you'll see how nice this pride timing is when you do that skip, right? It's on like the last, like us in the wall. It's on the last mob dying. It's just such a safe place. The only thing that makes this a little tricky, and I think we snipe each other because I like don't know where to stand. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get hit, and I'm in Sanguine. Ooh, I could have died there. I should have just stayed still. I don't know. It's the only thing is that see like that warlock, I believe, the Worgen warlock, is really close to pulling the pack outside. Like, very close. Like, if you watch my Sanguine 11 run, I'm the one that pulls it. He's close. So it's kind of a... I don't know. There's been tighter places to get pride, but this is one of those. And it's a bad... We don't want to pull. Like, it's one thing if you pulled the group next that you're gonna kill, but that other group kills the route. It's like... It just kills all the momentum. But, we didn't pull it. All that happened. Oh my god, this is rough. That's very easy to body pull with that. I'm the one the furthest down the road, and I'm not checking. I think I do a quick check back. I'm like, how close are we to pulling the next group? But this pull is a little sketch with Sanguine because I'm like, oh, there's the patrol, and we do, and then yeah. So I choose to run that way, right? It would have been very understandable and easy because of Sanguine, because of Quaking, for anyone to just run and body pull that, but that body pull would have been pretty disastrous. You'll see how tricky these it's just packs of 3, and we have the DPS, right? It's like you want to like double pull, but I have even in lower keys I don't double pull those. It's still it's hard to move the mobs, and they drop red on the ground, plus it's Sanguine. It's just very hard. So I feel pretty cool getting into this pack here. The patrol is going the other direction. I'm trying to silence this one, and I'm trying to decide, am I going to pull it back? And I am, because this starts happening, right? It drops the red on the ground, and we don't want people going the other way, because then they're going to pull the patrol or the next pack, and then there's Sanguine on top of it. So it's Sanguine depths today, right? It's Sanguine. Literally, that's what it is. Look how much of the floor is red from 3 mobs. That's just 3 mobs left that much goop. So you want 2 packs? It's gonna get nuts. So, right, no one likes standing still, but I'm using my senses here, like the I'm typing. They're like, the healer's like, yeah, go pull it, and I'm like, no. No. I just type it. I'm waiting for the patrol and just the patrol. So let's just wait for it. And the mage concurs. I'm pretty sure people have wiped in this corridor to just like, you know, banal trash. But there's spicy trash. Spicy. Is someone vent there? Did someone turn on the vent there pot? I don't think so. I don't think we have a vent there. It looks like it's on. I can't tell. Well, anyway, we pull it back, and you'll see like just these 3. They're enough. They're enough of a handful. There goes the first red circle plus Quaking. Like, look how much damage. Look how sketch just these 3 mobs were already. How much damage just went out, right? So to double that, it's just It's tough. I'm sure it can be done with like really good coordination, like everyone knows what they're gonna do, but in a pug, this is the safest. So just feel, I always feel fine waiting, and other people concurred immediately. They were like, "Yep, yep, yep, we get it." Like, cause look at the disaster with Sanguine on the floor there. Now we can come in here and get it. So yeah, that's a tip if you like going down the right side. So, however, what you'll see with this route, not that I do it perfectly, I miss one pack after the boss, is that you basically kill half the floor beforehand, and then to get Pride on the third boss, you basically kill the entire other side, which feels kind of good as a completionist. However, that will require a rogue skip to get that Pride timing, or an Invis. Everyone has Invis Pots. Which I carry enough that I could give them to everybody, and plus the druid could, of course, stealth. But had I done this right, you actually skip the very last pack as well. And so you get Pride on the end of the gauntlet, and then you have to stealth past the room. Which is a little bit... It's not too hard, but... I still haven't pulled that off yet, so when I go to do like 14 or something, I'm gonna hopefully get that done. Or to be honest, I'd even do it at like a 10, just to get it in the bag, muscle memory wise, just so I know it works. Yeah, I'll probably go do like a 10 actually, or something like that, and then go do the 14 just to make sure it actually works out. I'm pretty sure it will. I've seen other people do this route, and originally I was like afraid of rogue skips and being like, oh, that's too much to think about. Which you'll see from my other one. Oh, Quaking plus Craggy is the thing. But now it's quite the opposite. Like, you just save so much energy with the right skips. So I took that second there and I wrote kiting. And yeah, I'm like already almost died. I'm pretty close to dying plus Sanguine. And that was sketch. I should have kited earlier. They're coming for me. They're enraged. Pop. The 50% damage reduction. Guardians of the Ancient Kings, Wings Part 2. Give this one the Hodge. Just chill her out. She's just dropping damage on everybody. Quaking goes out, and these are not dead. They are half health. So, I guess what? We're going for another round of kiting. Almost died again. I don't know what I'm doing here. I guess I'm just trying to do a little DPS. Oh, I have Divine Shield that I see. I've Divine Shielded into Blood Barrier, and now it's time to run, especially with the Enraged. So yeah, this is the second time I'm down here. Takes a long time to kill these, and yeah, no one's complaining, but I'm like, if those touch me, I'm dead, and then they're gonna come for you. So that's just how this goes in a 13 with very decent DPS. I haven't done this yet, but okay. So now it's time to start calming it down, because the whole point of this route so far is to get Pride at a relatively easy timing here. If it was, had they killed the other one, and there were more ghouls left, it gets a little sketchy because they'll kill me, and then Pride will kill me. This is a little bit awkward here because of Quaking, right there. Plus Sanguine, plus I think the Mage and the Warlock just decided to eat it, but I guess we're recovering here. I remember that being a bit of a moment. I was like, oh no, oh no, oh no. And, mostly we want to save every cooldown for the boss. However, it is fortified, so, spoiler alert, the boss is just, they get destroyed, right? Not a big deal. Feels good. That's why it's the push week. That's why it's the push, even though I get eaten by trash constantly in every dungeon. So, if you watched my 5 fails of Sanguine Depths video or whatever, the first thing to do as a paladin is to stay really far away from that pack on the right. You see those mobs in there? You can pull those through the door, right? So I'm going to pull this dude back, which is way further than most people are expecting, but that's so I don't pull that room. You can pull that room really easily. That is very fast to kill the little manifestation. People are not expecting me to move this far, I can tell, because generally with this boss, you're supposed to kind of spread so that you don't cleave each other with Castigate. However, I barely even have to off-heal. The Druid's Hots or enough plus Swift Mend or whatever they're doing. Like, they are managing it. So I've only had to Word of Glory once. So we popped that boss, right? Like, pretty confidently. And now for the trash. And this is where I am not so sure exactly how to do this. So with the other route that I do, I believe, I need to look now because this is the route I'm going to start doing, so I've kind of forgotten that already. We pull this gargoyle. We do not pull the frenzied, and I think we just take the patrol. I think we take one pack and the patrol, something like that. However, with this one, to reiterate to myself, ouch, that was a lot of damage. Craggy. In this one, we take this gargoyle, we take the frenzied, and then we take the patrol and 2 packs. And I only took the patrol and 1 pack. Didn't get it right. So it's a lot of waiting. It kind of feels bad, but again, the chaos that comes from, I think that's what happens is I feel like I'm taking too long, and it was the wrong call. I don't have this memorized. Now I do. I've done this. And we pulled this way, way, way back because they're going to start dropping red on the ground, and we don't want people to get separated in the wrong direction. Even if she's all the way back there, I'm like, that's still fine. She's not the one that puts the red on the ground. It's these guys. I'm thinking about going and getting her, but she's basically dead already. But she is going to leave Sanguine. So just pulling it back. It's a thing to kill these. Maybe I'm not tanking this like optimally, but there's some more red, right? We got to just pull them out. It's the Sanguine depths. And so this is the patrol and the gargoyle. I believe next I'm going to go free the frenzied and then kill a pack. And I needed another one after. It just felt like so much. I was like, is this really it? And so, yeah, did it wrong. So we're going to kill these. And so what we need next is the one down there too. I need those 2. And I don't go get them. And it's a mistake. So if you are interested in this route, right, pride's good so far. If you want pride on the next one too, you let the frenzied ghouls on the right go, and you go get the next pack. So it's a lot of ads after, right? So I do that wrong, and I was making the route while we were like grouping, and I was making it, looking at the count, and I didn't have the number memorized. So you need to have basically like the shortcut, once you like kind of generally know, is you just memorize how much count you're supposed to have before you transition floors. Like in Spires or in whatever, in any of the dungeons, I'm looking, I'm like, how many is it? And so I'm currently dying to Sanguine, so I just don't have it. So unfortunately it's those 2 plus these, so rip. But yeah, so you're supposed to memorize the count, and I didn't. I was just trying to remember count. I was just trying to remember like pack number. And so I'm cutting these all the way back, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to go. I was like, this must be it here, right? I was like, those are so far away. But you're going to need, well, we'll see how much count we get here. You need like a lot more. You need like 5 more. Something like that. Let's see how much these give. 73 maybe? Are these 1 each? Something like that. So we have 72. That's not enough. And yeah, you need like 75 or something. So big rips to me. Yeah, first time doing the route, didn't quite get it. But I think all my routes are kind of like that. The first time I'm like, I'm not really sure. Or like I've seen it in MDT, but I haven't seen it in person, right? Once you do it in person, you just feel a lot more, I don't know, the muscle memory sets in. So that's what it is. Did it wrong. So you'll see that I end up with like 78% instead of 80 or 81 or something like that. So go pick up an extra pack. It doesn't end the run because our DPS is quite fine. However, I do apologize. I was like, I'm looking at the count now, and I'm like, this ain't it. This ain't it, right? Because like, say each one of these is like 1 point something or whatever. I don't have the add-on that tells you, but it doesn't matter. I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I'm not going back up. You know, you can. I think you can, but I was like, I'm not going back up. I'll just tell them we don't have it, and we'll just do the dance normally. And again, my other run, I don't get I don't get pride for this. I save pride for the well, you'll see it. What happens? I get pride for the triple pack, which I again kind of do wrong here again. So this is not a great run. By any means, we do time it fine, whatever. I get the IO, much needed. on the road to 1,000 IO still here. Don't have it. But, you know, had I picked up that one extra pack instead of... Yeah, see, I'm like, rip. I don't know what I'm doing. I think I'm typing. I don't know what's going on. I think I just typed and was looking. I was like, we don't have count, sorry. And I'm sitting in Sanguine. I just told them, I was like, we don't have it. My bad. I'm 2% off, yeah. That would have been, yeah, definitely a pack. We probably would have had Pride, like, with 1 or 2 of those still up, so is what it is. Eating a lot of iron spikes. Don't have a ton of cooldowns left. Luckily, this phase for me is pretty chill. On 3 is way too many for me to take, but I'm kind of looking now. I kind of know at a 13, fortified, right, with like the boss not being very strong. 3 orbs, I took 20% damage. I should just take 1 or none, to be absolutely honest, and like immune it. But actually, no, I shouldn't, because you'll see how important the immunity is later on. So we're gonna go for another round of the orb pickup phase. Supremacy, rate of supremacy. I think I'm just taking 1. Yeah, so let's see how bad 1 is. What I don't have is I should be in consecration and I should have shield the righteous. That was like 50% of my health, but I word of glory it back, and then I word of glory my healer too, and I still have lay on hands. Unfortunately, I stand in that because I'm bad, and I'm pretty sure hands is for me. Oh no, now we go into immunity, right? I'm sure the healer was like, oh no, but I immune that. So basically, if I didn't stand in that yellow circle, I probably could have just used Guardians of Ancient Kings instead of immunity, but so be it. So let's see how much I get here. Really, I'm taking a lot. I don't know. I guess fine, whatever. I should just be in consecration. That's 10%. Yeah, I gotta really, it's just like the other side at the end, the soul crusher, which I made a video about. That one still gets me. I'm still not perfect at like getting perfect soul crushers. Am I gonna lay on hands the mage? I really should. Oh, I've already used lay on hands. Never mind. There's some post healing, but we were fine there anyway. So again, if I had pulled 1 extra pack, which I'm still gonna go do on a lower key, or maybe a 14. A 14 feels pretty spicy, but whatever. 13s now, I'm like, at least what I know about a 13 is that like it's not my gear, right? It's not my issue. If I'm dying in a 13, having done this, it's like it's because the healer's not healing me strong enough, or the group's not doing CC or damage enough. Like I don't know if that's the right way to think about it. But once I do a dungeon and I'm not like, you know, half health like the entire time, I'm like, oh, I have gear, the route's fine, right? So I kind of know. Anyway, I need to come back and do this again at a 13, 12, whatever. And do the route the right way with a rogue. So still don't have one in the bag. Ooh, though, there it is. And because I picked up 1 extra pack that I normally do, this puts Pride very strongly in the middle with 2 ads left, whereas I think normally Pride comes exactly as they die. So it's not so bad here. These are not dangerous mobs at all, individually. So we're going to clean up Pride as it goes. So once you do this, this is the question where I was like, am I going to Omega pull this? Like, which basically means take them all together. The next 3 mobs, which are they're pretty hard. They're pretty tough. Or do I split them up? And I go for splitting them up, but I don't actually LOS them all the way back here. And it's really awkward, and we die a bunch. So, indecisive. That's what it feels like. It's indecisive thing, right? And I don't communicate ahead of time. I should have just fully LOS them all the way back. But I can sense that they're engaging there. And the green circle goes down, right? So go stand in that. It's like, What happens is that the camera is very awkward over here. And it's very hard to tell. Thrusting plus quaking. And so we're in a choke point, whereas the whole point of doing this is to kind of just not die at all here, and I die. And a lot of people die. I'm pretty sure. Right? It's like, look at the camera. Like, I just can't see. And it's just not good. So it was improv to attempt killing them here. I'll now know in the future, don't do it. If you're gonna go for the split pull, pull them all the way back and tell people beforehand. That's all. So I'm a little thrown here, and someone else picks up the shield, I believe. Like, I don't pick it back up, I'm gonna die again. And yeah, just look at the camera angle. It's just you can't get wide enough to see everything because of the roof. It's just not great. Like, that's my camera angle for this fight. It's terrible. I'm still dying out here. But I died, and usually I pick up the shield again, but I didn't pick it up, and the healer picked it up, I think is what happened. And they put the shield down in like a funny place sometimes. But actually, in a way, I'm kind of glad to have someone else doing it. And I've never done a run where someone else has done it because I don't normally die. I normally go pick up the shield. But that was not good. It wasn't like I don't think we did a full wipe, but that was a bunch of deaths. And I'm gonna Hand of Freedom, holler. No damage over here. And yeah, it's bad. It was bad. So this is still a scuffed run. Didn't get the right pride timing. Though it honestly feels really bad to spend so much time up there, but if you delete the boss extra fast, that's always a good thing. People feel makes up time. And then that was a scuffed split pull. It probably would have been better just to pull them all together. And at the other end of the tunnel, you do have a better view of it, so you learn something. The best and safest on fortified, because those things pump, those things hurt, is to split pull them. I would rather not take the Grand Overseer, because they do like the AoE dread bindings thing, which I can freedom out of, but everyone else is going to be taking all this damage plus the craggy plus quaking. I'd rather just concentrate on just those two and do the Grand Overseer last. Anyway, because of the way the route has shifted, this is when I'm first realizing I don't have the shield. But because of the way the route has shifted, we're actually going to get pride in kind of like like middle of the end pack. Versus if I had done this correctly, it would have completely skipped the end pack, which I would imagine, what's it called, is back by now, Shroud. Or it will be, because this gauntlet takes a long time. A long time on Fortified. And I believe that on Tyrannical, this gauntlet, even though he is a boss, this gauntlet part is actually considered like mobs or whatever. So it's actually on Fortified when this is much, much harder, even the boss. So like these mobs are, fortified, but so is the boss in this phase, I believe. It's hard to say. It's pretty tough either way. That might have... Oh, wait, was it the rogue that had the shield? Who's got the shield now? There's the shield. Yeah, someone picks it up. I should have picked it up. I didn't know who had it. This is where voice comms would have been, a thing. But the healer picks up the shield. That's cool. That's a good group if anyone can pick it up. Like, you have to be pretty confident about the shield. However, they put it in somewhat awkward positions, or maybe it's just awkward from my point of view because normally I put the shield right on the group. Are we in Sanguine right now? I can't tell. I think we're sitting in Sanguine, I have to say. Anyway, it's pretty nice that the group can pick up the slack because I don't have the shield. I don't know. I didn't see it. It was red or something. It wasn't. It wasn't gold. I don't know. I really didn't see it. I didn't notice that I dropped it, and I also didn't notice that someone else dropped it the whole time. So, thanks, group. I didn't even realize that until now. Ooh boy, yeah. So quaking into Sanguine. That's literally an example of the affects there. It's just like tight corridors. Tried to get out of quaking, didn't, and then ran into a Sanguine, and yeah. But we do stabilize it. Again, not a full wipe. A full wipe is kind of, it's over. It's dead key. It's already been a little bit rough so far. But not fully wiping saves, saves a lot of time compared to actually dying. I don't mean that just from like the time of that you actually lose from deaths. You lose 5 seconds per death or something like that. I mean the run back. The run back is decent. We're not like all the way at the end, but it's that takes a lot of time. That's like 30 seconds or something like that. So we have phased him here. I just need to keep aggro on the bears. Killing them does nothing. I think I lost aggro on one, but I'm like, I just need to get back to that. Yeah, it's in a body pull it. I should have just committed to pulling these. I had Divine Toll, so I knew it was going to be okay, but you know, I don't want someone getting half health by a Gargon while I'm trying to front pull, but this is tanking. Those decisions. So this is definitely not a perfect run. However, I think the group is essentially quite supportive in helping get us there, despite messing up the count. Okay, so I'm just trying to like keep threat on the Gargons. This is not a hard pack. I mean, none of these, until the end, none of the packs are very dangerous. There is damage going out. Necrotic. I don't think I did this on Necrotic. To be honest, I'm not sure I even did this place on Necrotic. I don't remember. I remember this like Gauntlet and I was like, nah. Maybe I did do one. I don't remember. But yeah, this on Necrotic is like, that's the danger. Like these don't do very much damage even at a 13. It's just the fact that you'll get to super high stacks. Like, yeah, the dangerous part is definitely the affix here, because it's just like, you know, how long can you handle this? Before your necrotic stacks are too big, before you have to deal with Sanguine and the quaking. I still don't know which one of these things leaves Sanguine or not. It's not all of them, which would be like pretty nuts. Is she leaving Sanguine? She died. She didn't, right? So she didn't. It's not. I don't think the bears do either. I don't know who leaves Sanguine on the floor here. These guys probably leave it, but they're like the bosses at the end. Anyway, we're at the hard part, but the end, so that's nice. Hopefully there's not bears eating everyone back there. Can't tell. Oof. Animated weapon, do get aggro on it. That's nice. And yeah, we're at the home stretch here. No one eats the craggy. Everyone's awake. I interrupt Stone Skin. Taking a bit of damage. Do I die? Oh, I got healed by something. I don't know if that was me or someone else. That looked like that might have been a lay on hands to myself because I have forbearance. That looks like I lay on hands on myself. That's a good use of it. Because we're not out of the woods yet. So I'm like, oh boy, what's going on with the count? And you'll see. It's one of those days. Plus quaking and sanguine. Ouch. 99%. So yeah, basically had I killed that extra pack, we would just skip this entire room and Pride would have been back there. Now Pride's going to be like in the middle of this and I just know I'm going to Divine Shield. I know it. Like I was like, I know that's kind of cool. Someone leaves that for damage reduction. I know for a fact that there's going to be like a decent amount of ads. There it is. Yeah. Actually, I feel pretty confident, but like I should just pop everything right now and live this to help. But it's actually going okay. I do pop the offensive. Oh, there, I got stunned. And I'm pretty sure. I feel like I'm going to immune pretty soon here just to smooth this out. Maybe not. It is just one ad left. We'll see. I feel like I should be immuning pretty soon. No, we're topped off. That dude's running away. But yeah, I still haven't done the run where basically you skip the last room. I really want to. Right, we'd be killing Pride here and then just scooting on through there. However, if you wipe, it's over. But if we did wipe though, you wouldn't, unless everyone had. I don't think you're. That's the issue with Invis skips is like if you wipe, you're not coming back. You're not gonna have Shroud up, and you're not gonna have. I think Invis Pots is a 5-minute potion timer or something like that. You're just not gonna be able to come back. So. With the skips, you have to be you kind of have to know you're gonna. I didn't really think about that. It's like you can't wipe, you can't come back, which I didn't think about so much. So it's something to consider with Necrotic Wake. I now like skipping Mists. I skip Mist is kind of okay because you have the Acorn, but do I eat? I think I get hit by the first one. Yeah, sad. I remember that. But it's definitely down to the wire here. And the deaths are that awkward bridge pull was my fault. I don't remember what else. Yeah, and then just some mechanic misplays on my part. I definitely died twice, I think, to the affix, basically. So that's not great. And we didn't get Pride. Like we spent all this extra time killing these like really monotonous trash packs to then not get Pride. So yeah, this is definitely, I mean, pacing is the tank for the most part, unless other people are dying to the mechanics. But like, yeah, this was my bad. Oh man, so this is another Sanguine scuffed run on my part. I mean, we get it. We time them. but yeah, just not good. Yeah, that's definitely the assessment. So, you know, get the count right, Workbringer, and then also do that pull either confidently where you pull all 3 at the end, or you actually do the LOS. So, yeah, I did the split pull, but then didn't do it safely, and we died. So if we're gonna die, we might as well do the hard version of it. So, oops. 13 seconds. I didn't realize it was this close. 10 seconds, but we got it. So, I do apologize to the group. I was like, I messed up count. But everyone timed, so they're happy. And people were like, hey, whatever, you know, once you do it. But still, I am not the master of Sanguine Depths. However, much practice on the mid keys here. Getting better and better at it. And next time, hopefully, we do the full double rogue skip into Pride on every boss. That would be good. And on Fortified Weeks, I'm still going to aim to split up that trash, in my opinion. I just think that's what you do. And Quaking, too. It's just like, ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. But there it is. Sanguine Depths plus 13 in the bag. Got the IO. Let's do it better next time. I'll see you on the next video.